Hello guys! So today I'm gonna do storytelling about one of my favorite cartoon ever since I was a kid, which is Doraemon. Specifically their movie called Stand By Me Doraemon. But before we go into the storytelling, I'm gonna introduce myself first. My name is Salfa Nurjanah with student number ID 25220069 from English Education Study Program Class A3. Before we started to the storytelling, I'm gonna ask you guys something. If you are going to know that in the future your life is going to be totally disaster, what would you do? So this story is happened to Nobita Nobi, or we all guys well known as Nobita. He is a 10 years old boy who is very clumsy, always bad at sport. And he is like lazy. And then he was getting bullied and all. And he was consistently getting zeros on his exam. And then like one night, I think, he is like writing something on his desk, right? Blah 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 blah. And then he feels like his desk is shaking. He was like, what happened to his desk? And then like boom, something is come out from the storage of the desk. It was Sewashi, someone that comes from the future. Nobita, of course, shocked and like, who is that? But one thing for sure, Sewashi is really look like him, like very look like, okay? And then like, who are you? And then Sewashi says that he was Nobita's great-great-grandson from the future. Nobita was like, what kind of nonsense is that? Right? Like, that was very nonsense and so silly to think. But he is swear, I'm your grandson from the future, from the 22nd century. And for Nobita believe him, he is comes with like an album, like 2 or 3 pictures from the future, which is Nobita is going to marry Jaiko. Who is Jaiko? So Jaiko is like the sister of Giant, and Giant is like the person like his friends who always bullied Nobita. And like, what? Am I going to marry Jaiko? Not his crush instead, which is Shizuka. And from the future, he's going to have business, but it goes bankrupt. And that is where the part why Nobita is like his great-great-grandson is going to poor in the future. Why is that can happen? Because all the bankrupt and then the business is burned down and he's married Jaiko, and that was the causes of why his great-great-grandson is going to the present to meet him. And then what should I do to change that future? And then so I was like, don't worry, I bring someone from the future. And then ta-da! There is Doraemon. Doraemon, it's like robotic cat, I could say. Robotic cat from the future that will help Nobita, but to having his like happy ending, I could say, like his happiness. At first, of course, that robotic cat, it say like, no, I'm not gonna babysit a loser. Like absolutely not. I'm gonna go back to the future. But Sewashi is already changed like his robotic kind of thing, which is if Doraemon still wanted to go into the future, he is already set the electric shock that will hurt Doraemon if he is still trying to get to the future. So because of that, Doraemon having no choice at all, and then okay, I'm going to the present to make Nobita happy. And of course, to change the fate of his great great grandson in the future. And then day goes by, Doraemon is helps Nobita a lot using his 4D pocket, like right on his stomach, which is can produce everything like door to everywhere, and then like everything. And then time goes by, Doraemon is help him a lot, right? Help him with his exam so he will not getting zero anymore. And then there was something that Nobita remember and he wanted to change that. Which is what? Which is Nobita wanted to marry Shizuka instead of Jaiko. But that is very simple for Doraemon, like he is can help him easily. And then Doraemon is make Nobita going to the future to meet Shizuka. In the future, Shizuka is going to a mountain, right? That mountain is like very cold, snowy, thunder everywhere, which is very, very not safe. But whatever, Nobita is going to help her. But instead of help her, he is made totally disaster. He is faint, bloody comes from his body and all. He is not helpful at all, right? And then whatever Doraemon is help him, that Shizuka finally can out of that mountain. It's like maybe Mountain Fuji or something, but like um, Shizuka can come back safely from that mountain. And from that moment, Shizuka feel like her heart is getting touched by Nobita. Like, I think I'm gonna marry Nobita because he is, you know, his heart, her heart is very touched by Nobita. And then time goes by. Nobita finally happy. His future is going to change because Doraemon, right? Because his, I could say like Doraemon's job already clear. He is wanted to going back to the future. And of course, Nobita don't want that. Because they are like already have that friendship feeling, which is Doraemon don't want it, which is Nobita don't want Doraemon to go to the future. But they are cannot beat time. And then there's like one system in like robotic Doraemon, which is say that Doraemon need to go into the future in 48 hours. And that moment Nobita was like, there's nothing I can do. Sun proved Doraemon that he can live without him. And then last night, when they are together, Nobita is like running outside and going to the park where Giant, which is one of his bullies, there. And like Nobita says, let's do a fight. Like, okay, Giant is love it off because he knows that he will win, right? There's no way Nobita will win against him. And then of course I like having fight. Nobita is bleeding, bruise, and everything. But like there's like one word from Nobita which is make Giant scared. That day, Nobita says that he will win even without Doraemon helps. And then Giant getting scared and he like run out of the park. And then just like how times went, Doraemon finally come back to the future again. And then Nobita needs to doing his life without him anymore. And then one night, Nobita is remember that Doraemon is like left. I could say like drink. When you drink that and say something, the opposite will happen in the real life. Until like Nobita drink that, and then he says, "My life is unhappy. Doraemon will never going here anymore, like forever." And then because that drink is will saying otherwise, and then his desk is like shaking again, and then boom, Doraemon is come back again. Because what? Because of what he says while he drinks the drink. And then after that, that was the main reason. If you all watch Doraemon, the main reason why Doraemon is always by Nobita's side. That is from this movie. It is because Nobita like make a wish, and that is going to be come true. So I think that's all the storytelling I can say. And this movie is very heartwarming. Actually, Stand By Me have like season 2, but I think I'm gonna tell a story next time. So bye bye.